That feeling when your favorite anime is over and you need something to watch to pass the time. I was kind of feeling that, so I hit up my anime plug to see what he had for me and gave me this new anime. It was like, hey man, you should check out Gachiakuta. I feel like that'll be something you would like. And I was like, okay, cool. What it's about? What it's on? And he tells me, well, the story is about trash and people fight over it. And I was like, okay, trash. That sounds interesting. What's the power system? And he was like, trash. And I was like, okay, what kind of abilities can people do? He was like, they use trash. And I was like, so they're fighting trash with trash. And he was like, yeah, man, just trust me. And so a couple weeks pass, and I kind of forget about it. But I'm scrolling on YouTube one day, and I see this anime, and it looks kind of like what he was telling me. And I was like, oh, wait a minute, this is the show he was talking about, but it's on YouTube, and it's the whole first episode dubbed on YouTube. And I was like, I've never seen a new show start off his new episode on YouTube. Against my better judgment, I decided to give it a chance. I was like, all right, whatever. So I'm watching, and we can all tell it's gonna be this cookie cutter story. We have the main character Rudo, and the story's about trash, and you can tell that he cares about the trash more than anyone else, and he wants to become the trash Kage one day, and he's gonna teach everyone the right feelings to have, and he has this girl that we meet at the beginning of the show that's gonna be his love interest for the whole show, and their relationship is just gonna work out because it's so beautiful and lovely, and then all the characters are gonna eventually that don't like Rudo in the beginning are gonna love him in the end, and he's gonna love everybody, and they're gonna become one happy family. And then boom, you get hit with, wait a minute, the people care about keeping their city so clean that they will shoot at people who mess with trash and become trash divers or whatever. Okay, and then boom, why does he have all black hands, and why does his eyes have that murderous look in it? And then boom, we now have a murder mystery on our hands and have to figure out who is the killer. Okay, I can get with this. And so, if you couldn't tell by now, I was being sarcastic about Gachiakuta being trash. It's one of my favorite pass the time animes I'm watching right now. Gachiakuta is a diamond in the rough. All the value is right there, but you have to dig a little deeper to be able to see it. And I feel like that's kind of the underlining message of the show as well. Like everything has value. And no one knows that more than our main character, Rudo. My boy Rudo here loves trash and doesn't like when people throw things away, so he takes them and fixes them up and makes them look nice and better, which you can tell, especially once you know the story a little bit. Rudo has some big abandonment issues and kind of relates himself to the trash, and that's why he wants to fix it up and show people, hey, this stuff has value because I have value. So, got those abandonment issues. We can get those looked at. But hey, man, we all got our issues. So let's get into the episode. So when it first starts off, you're shown this beautiful, pristine city, and everything's so clean, and people are wearing white. And if you're like me, you were told that the show's about trash, and so you're like, huh? Well, this isn't what I was thinking. And then sprinkled in, you get little hints of like trash and dirty areas, and but it's framed completely different from the clean city. So like the clean city is light, bright colors, and then when you see the trash, it's dark, harsh colors, and it's like, okay, painting a good divide, so showing us a division already from the first few seconds. We then get shown this little girl who's giving us an insight of the people of the clean side of the city. She's given this toy, it's torn up, and so her mom is like, "Oh, that's trash now." So they don't value anything. So she throws it away just because it has a little tear in it, rather than fixing it. Throws it away, and then boom, we get shown our main character. He looks nothing like anybody presented so far. He has the white clothes on, but it's a little ruffled, got a little dirt on him, a little grungy, and we're in a dirty area. So we're like, okay, this guy is definitely not like everyone else around here. What's going on? And he's digging through the trash, rummaging, and while rummaging, he gets discovered by an apostle. Shout out Berserk. And I'm thinking, oh, okay, they're gonna throw him in jail or arrest him, whatever. And the next thing you know, they pull out the blicky and start going kabloom, kablow. Shout out my boy Ruda, he got hit by a bazooka. Then we get shown that Rudo was looking for the little doll so he can give to his shorty, Miwa. And I don't know why, but when I was watching the scene, it just reminded me of that boy got stretchy pants. That boy got stretchy pants. We get a lot of backstory here, and we're told that this area that's divided is called the slums, and people that are here are children or descendants of criminals, and that to get out, I'm assuming they have to live like a very clean, squeaky lifestyle to have any chance of getting out. And we find out Rudolph's father is the worst of the worst because he was a fan of cereal and did a bunch of cereal eating, got thrown into the pit. So I want to take a second here and pause and talk about like how they're setting up the two sides and the way I like it. So as a beginner, like I said, we get shown the clean city with the clean people wearing all white, and then everybody in this city is wearing like all white, but it's dirty, grungy. You can tell like they're trash people. So we're already setting up a battle of classes. We have this group of wealthy elites who think they're better than the group of poor, impoverished people. I'm sure this is going to turn out well. Funny thing is, the Spherites remind me of the delightful children from down the lane and Codename Kids Next Door. They're these squeaky clean people who are super prudish and always uptight and think they're better than people. And I rock with the slum people because, look at all this soul and character in their building. And even look at Rudolph's room. Like, everything's so lifeful and colorful and just unique that it's like it gives soul and it gives like this is a person. They all have their own individuality, and I don't know. I just like that kind of stuff. Whereas like the Spherites, they're very everyone fits in, and we're all going to be the same, and you won't be able to tell no one apart. So there's no individuality, and that's boring. Then we meet Rudolph's caretaker and father figure, Recto. Takes him back home, patches him up, and we find out that Rudolph's hands are actually underneath those gloves, pitch black, and they give him excruciating pain. People used to make fun of him, so not only did he have his father being a serial lover, but also these black hands, so it just made him an outcast. So people were making fun of him and teasing him, and it would just hurt his feelings. And then Recto discovered him and gave him these gloves, and these gloves mean so much to Rudolph, so he put them on, and they help with the pain. And you could just tell there's a lot of care there between Rudolph and Recto. He scolds him for not telling Miwa that she his girl and he should claim her before someone else does. We then get shown the infamous pit where people get thrown away as if they're trash. Miwa shows up, and then Rudolph thinks, now my time. I have to do it. So he gives her the doll, and he asks her the question, do you want to be my ball? And it gets her flustered, and it's so cute, and he runs away, and he's like, I got a ball. I got a ball. He rushes back home to be able to tell Recto that he now has a ball to play with. While going home, he runs into 12, and it's like, oh, shoot. What are they doing here? Act like I didn't commit a crime earlier today. Rudolph gets home expecting to see Recto there so he can tell him the good news. And the next thing you know, we see this masked figure that's been shadowed throughout the whole episode being shown here and there. And he's standing in a pool of Recto's blood. He looks at Rudolph, knocks him out when he tries to attack him, and picks up a book on his way out. The next thing we see is Rudolph wakes up and rushes over to Recto to try and get him help and see if he's okay. With his last words, Recto begs Rudolph to make this world a place worth living in. 12 walk in right at that moment and arrest Rudolph. But to me, they should have heard Recto screaming and be able to tell, like, okay, this kid probably didn't do this. But they're just like, oh, you got his blood on you. You did it. You're the one that did it. So they put Rudolph on trial and have the trial over the pit. He's assumed guilty until proven innocent. Everyone in the crowd chanting, send the filth to the pit. Send the filth to the pit. And we get to hear a little bit of Rudolph's inner monologue and see that fight in him where he's just like, all of you got eyes and ears, but you're not listening to me. Like, who are you to call me trash? And then we see Miwa. And then we're thinking she's going to be the one to believe him. Like, she's going to be the one to vouch for our boy Rudolph. And she drops his gift and says he's just like his father. Oof. The child who is not embraced by the village will burn it down to feel its warmth. And this is where Rudolph snaps. He sees the masked assailant who attacked Recto in the crowd. The judge issues him a guilty verdict and says send him to the pit. And then boom, they let him go, drop him into the pit. As he falls, Rudolph screams out he will have his vengeance and he will come back for each and every single one of them. Rudolph awakens in what looks like a trash dump. All things aren't as they seem because this trash is alive. And that's the end of episode 1. I have to say this was a very strong start for Gachiakuta. I think they did a very great job. I'm one of those people where when I watch an anime, the first episode, sometimes even the second, it'll let me know if I'll be able to continue the series. And Gachiakuta literally had me hooked from the second I saw the first 5 minutes of it. It's very intriguing, and I want to see how they're going to develop the story down the line. I have to say the art style is probably its strongest suit, and as if you continue to watch, you'll be able to agree as well. Like the graffiti, I think there's just such a unique style for anime. Like, of course, we've seen it before, but not to where the whole show is based around graffiti and seeing these people and the differences in them and the spherites and the people in the slums. And you can see that the people in the slums are like kind of malnourished, and it's like, hmm. And then when you get later on in the series, that division gets even more exacerbated. So it's a very intriguing series. I appreciate you guys sticking around and watching the whole thing. If you did, if you liked it, give it a thumbs up, and if you can, share it for me so we can get it out there. Thank you, and have a good one. Bye.